Hey everyone. A lot of people have approached me and said like, yeah, you should do a guide about the Bran Ultra Control deck. So I was like, it's not weekend yet, but what the heck, let's just do a guide. So I didn't play a lot of Gwent today, therefore I created this guide for you. And as usually, we going through the cards and combos, then we talk a bit about the Mulligan, then we talk about some tips and tricks, and then we go straight into some gameplay matches. Subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and let's head right into it. Okay, the cards can be classified in like 4 types. There is the discard cards, which actually are able to discard cards. Then we have the cards that wants to be discarded and we actually don't want to play at all. Sometimes you want to play Spore, sometimes you want to play the Meridian Bomb, you know. Depending on your enemy, you want to keep those cards, but in your typical match, you just want to get rid of them. And then we have our value cards, which are like just putting proactive value on the board. Proactive is the important word here. And then we have the control or / reactive cards. Let's start with the discard cards, because they are the easiest one, because they are in the most Skellige decks right now. The first one is actually our leader. It's Bran, discard a card and draw a card. You have like every round that it refreshes, so you have basically an extra discard every round. And his passive ability is what's really good. Every time you discard a card, damages a random enemy by 1. So if you include a lot of discard cards, like we get a lot of damage out of Bran. Hopefully, like in round 1, we can like use his passive ability to really push. One of our best discard cards is Bran. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Alone for Bran, she's already worth a 7, and from the cards who wants to be discarded, we can even like get her to big like value points. And then with Coral. Coral is like one of the cards we want to drop first when we discard something, because it like she actually she has 2 charges. She discards a card and draws a card, it's a normal discard card. But every time we discard a special card, it damages an enemy unit by 2, which is also why we have that many special cards, like bronze special cards in the deck, which we just want to get rid of. So if you play her like in the beginning, her passive effect will also trigger for Burner. So if like Coral sticks to the board, then you have like the passive effect from Coral and the passive effect from Bran for all your discard cards. Pretty decent. And the last discard card we have is Hamus Kjeld. It's like simple one-time discard a card and draw a card. And that's all we have. Those cards you want to play around 1, like, and you want to like thin for your deck. You want to assure that you have the good cards 4 and 3 and like get all the shit out of your deck, so to say. One card which is not a discard card but actually a proactive card, but I want to talk about it right now, is like the Brokva Hunter. We only have 1 Brokva Hunter in the deck and typically use him on blue, because that way you can use technical advantage to actually protect him so he's not dying instantly. And if you manage to protect Brokva Hunter, then it will get 1 charge whenever you discard a card. So the next card is then, for example, Coral, then Burner, and so on. And that way you can get 1 extra damage for every discard you have. So he really escalates your power in round 1. Typically it doesn't stick to the board, so if you can't make him like stick to the board and blue in round 1, you typically don't even want to play him, because he just dies, and then you gave an opponent like a free card, so to say. So if you can't make him stick, or you don't think you can make him stick, just discard him as well. And then we have the cards we want to discard. That's all our special card. That's the Meridian Bomb, that's like the Spores, that's like the Moondust Bomb. Moondust Bomb, well, you can exchange this as well. For example, if you play against a lot of Northern Realms, you want to play Moondust. If you play, for example, against Nilfgaard, or if you don't have like, or against monsters, for example, which have a lot of Death Wish, you can play Northern Winds to like banish the unit on Death. So like it has the same effect as Reaches, like Death Wish doesn't trigger, or Roach just like doesn't end up in the graveyard, which means Azara can put it back into the deck. Or you play Gutting Slash, for example. It's also another option if you just go for value. So this, I would say, is totally flexible, and just like add the special card you want to have. You can also like play the Small Blood thing where you deal 2 damage to an enemy, and like if you do a death blow, well, you will spawn a bear abomination, but it's up to you. Like really choose what you want to do. And then we have cards like the Tourist Skirmishes, which is definitely a card we want to discard. Every time this unit is discarded, it summons from the graveyard to the melee row. So if you discard this with Burner, you basically get 4 extra points on the board. And the same is with Morkvark. Morkvark you always want to discard with Bran or something else, because it will just pop onto the board and like be there for 5 extra points. Then we have cards which you typically want to get rid of, but sometimes you want to play them. And this is like the Svalbard Ravager. Svalbard Ravager is pretty okay because it's like a 4/4 normally. But if you actually have already a damaged unit on the board, then you can like deploy him, and like the damage will already get you a second damaged unit. So it will actually trigger his own blood first, and then you have like a 6/4. So that's actually pretty decent if you need to choose. For example, if you would get rid of, let's say, Brock the Hunter and like Ravager, then you probably want to play Ravager because you get extra points from that. Tourism Veteran is also just there for Yalma later, so this you don't want to play as well. Worst case, if you have like stuck with spores in hand, you may want to play and just like to enable spores for another 4 point. But then you play like 2 cards for 4 points more or less, so just try to get rid of them as well. And then we have like our proactive cards. Our proactive cards are very important because we have so many reactive cards that you really need to hold on to these proactive cards. So you have a card you can play if you're going first. And those cards are like, for example, the Svalbard Totem, because it spawns like 2 4-point Svalbard units. Like if you damage them through the totem, then they will get to like 5/5 because the Berserk like transforms into Bear Abominations. So you have like a 10 for 10, and like the most important thing is that it's a proactive game play. Then with Harald, you want to play Harald also quite early, because Harald puts down like 4 points plus 3 extra points for his skulls. And if you damage them through Harald, then you get just extra value, which is also pretty decent. So Harald you want to hold on to as well. And that is it. This is basically all our proactive cards, and the rest of the cards just fit into other categories. So worst case, you need to play a veteran, so you have a proactive card. So be sure to try to stick to your proactive cards. And then we have a lot of reactive cards. Those are the cards that make this deck so good and basically give your opponent hell. First one is Muzzle, locks an enemy unit with 5 or less power and sees it. Basically, if you hit a 5, it's 10 points for you. Then we have Curse of Corruption. Curse of Corruption destroys the highest unit, especially useful against Coratel, where the enemy has like immune to synthesis, for example. But also good if you have play against Woodland and they use the Woodland ability on the Werewolf, for example. So use Curse of Corruption to trigger units you would not be able to hit otherwise. Then we have Regis Bloodlust, typical like 4 points for damage, and also banishes the enemy on death blow. So good against death units. Cleaver is better the more cards you have in your hand, because it damages unit by 1 for every card in your hand. So the sooner you play Cleaver, the more damage you will do. Typically it does something like 5 to 6, depending also like if you have an enemy which actually can soak the damage from Cleaver. Yalma is there to utilize our discarded veteran for an 8-point damage, for 8 points of damage, and makes him basically an elf 11-point card. So pretty decent card. Then you have Skjall, it's just like a 3-point and does 4 damage to an undamaged enemy. Pretty good as well. And then we have Ulfedin, which also shines against like monsters, or for example if you play against like really crazy cards like how's she called? Eglaze, that's her name. I actually found it. So for example, Ulfedin against Eglaze can like save you a game and really turn the game in your side. Really helps also against cards like Caldwell or whatever. Just play it against high units and you should be fine. And this is it more or less. So let's head into the Mulligan. Like with all Skellige decks which feature discard cards, you actually want to get a lot of shitty bronze cards you don't want to see for the rest of the game already in round 1, trying to discard them. Those cards, as we already talked, are like the Meridian Bomb, Spores, Veteran, Ravager, but especially like discard cards like Skirmisher, of course, and Morkwerk. Then you need the discard cards, so Burnout Bran, Coral, and like all the Skjalls you can find. Those are the cards you want to have in round 1. And then you draw hopefully into your value cards, control cards and so on. And for this you already have a pretty solid round 1. And for round 3, it's basically all about, you still have a bronze card in your hand, well, get rid of it, draw a gold card. And if you still are left with a bronze card in round 3 in your hand, then you can use your lead ability to get rid of it, and then you should have a handful of golds, and you should be pretty good in your last round. Now let's talk about some tips and tricks. The first one is your discard order. If you're on blue, you can try to get Brock the Hunter out, get technical advantage onto him, try to protecting him, and then you try to start with Coral because then you get her passive effect as well. And then you go with Skjalds, with Bran, and your last discard cards should always be Burner Bran, because Burner Bran lets you control which cards you can keep on your hand. If you want to fin to 0, then try to also use Bran in round 2 and in round 3, because this way you be assured that you can cycle through your whole deck, get rid of all the cards you don't want, and really end up with the gold cards in your hand. The second tip is try to win round 1, because you have so many control cards and reactive cards that playing second in round 3 is really good for you, and having, let's say, enables you to get like the most value out of your cards. Because, for example, Course of Corruption, if the enemy knows that you have a lot of control cards, they won't play the big, let's say, Synthesis until the very last card, or let's say the Caldwell. So you can only hit those stuff if you have, let's say. So try to win round 1 with everything you have, so to say. You typically should be able to do it because your discard package is very strong, but really try to enforce that. And against engine decks, or also against against decks which you think they will benefit from a longer round 3, try to push them in round 2. Don't be afraid to go that card down, because you have the points, you have the power to push round 2. The only reason why you don't want to push round 2 is if you don't have that much proactive cards. So for example, if there's no Swablet Totem in your hand, if there's no Harald in your hand, and you only have cards like Cleaver, Yalma and so on, that's where you probably want to pass, because you don't want to play like a high provision card, which is a control card with no targets right there. So, but if you have like the Swablet Totem, get it out in round 2 and push. In round 3, you don't even need another proactive card anymore, because you're already going second. So if you have cards like Skjald and stuff, it is already good like to just like get everything out in round 2, and then have this few reactive cards in round 3, and then like finish the job, so to say. My last tip would be that if you already have a lot of tempo in round 1, and you already see that the opponent struggles to get along and probably wants to pass soon, that's where you want to keep Morkvark, for example, and maybe like the 2 skirmishers if you already have a burner in your hand and Morkvark is already out. Because by playing them in round 2 right away, you already can push a lot of tempo, which you couldn't do anymore if you already got these discard cards out in round 1. So if you see them struggle, save your discard cards and get them out in round 2, while maybe just drop some bronzes in round 1, for example, to just get rid of them in this way. And now I would say, let's head right into some gameplay matches. Henrietta.
Impertinence is the one thing I cannot abide.
Let us see. I have the Ultra Control. So the question is how to. Against Henrietta, well, Spores probably, Emerson Bomb for sure not. I don't know if I need 2 of them here. Well, in this case, actually, it's fine. I kind of like I don't like 2 of them in hand, actually. The good thing is we may not draw into the gold cards. We'll see how this will work out. We will see. Roach is something we want to use reaches on. Maybe we want to even like spore the Roach first so we can then reaches it, but like, okay. Let's start off with the typical discard package. There we go. There's a bomb. We need Crawl for this for sure. Question is also, what do we Vigo and when? Or I guess we just discard this Skjald with Bran. Just because. We'll see. We will see. Because I really don't need a bomb. Really depends what he's playing. We have some value in form of Swablet Totem. We can get Bloodthirst going right away. Or not right away. The thing is, like, if we let this buff up, so to say, then like we get an even better Spore. On the other hand, like every time we discard, this probably will get hit, so... Question is if we just want to kill it right away. We could use... Well, the problem is that this card could also hit him, so we don't know if we can kill it with the discard, the brand damage, so...
Let's not
Let's
get
go
in
like
the way
this.
of me.
That's what I'm saying, it actually hits the wrong thing. What a shame. But we're catching up anyway, so maybe this will still get a good score. Still probably a good score to get some point.
That is what you folk lack.
We could now play the Ravager, but like it doesn't make too much sense because it will only bleed by 1. So instead, we're probably just going to burn it and look for Coral. Well, Morkrag is fine as well. Oh, there's Coral, so there we go. And we're going to get rid of the Veteran because Coral will use to discard. We'll use this card to get rid of the Recent Bomb. What we could have done is like actually use Bran before Burner, just to like be sure that we get good cards.
And I shall make it so.
Oh, he's already like kind of like giving up here, kinda. We can now banish Roach, which probably is a good idea, and then we just use the discard value to stay in the round. There we go. No Roach for you. Makes his Asaya way worse. Actually, don't need Bran to use him to stay in the round, but like, I want to use him because if he actually passes at some point, then like we want to have Fint. Let's see. The next round, next card will be Coral into the Missing Bomb and the Spores, just to get like value on the board and to Finn more. And then like we have Finn so much that we definitely can see all cards in deck. That was a really suboptimal cleaver though. And we're now going to discard the hell out of him. And there we go. Maybe even we can get maybe we can even get the Spores to work. Let's see. And nice. Actually, Spores will find value, as you can see here. Broco Hunter probably will not. We will probably just discard him. But we'll see. Spores currently is 7 points, which is already pretty good. It's like 7-4-4. Sure, I don't care if you banish it or not. You can still wait with the Spores here. Question is what we do here. Do we just play the Hunter, but then like we give him an opening to pass? We don't have an undamaged enemy unit. I think we just play Totem here. We don't have that much synergy with other cards anyway, so we just play for value. And we'll see. A lot of damaging cards are already out anyway, so I'm not sure if he can just, or if he wants to commit like 4 damage onto my Fanatics, so...
The common folk. I care for them.
Okay, that's pretty okay-ish. We cannot play the Hunter and just get us a bit of time. Because Spore will be way, like, we'll get a ton of value at the end. So let's play it here.
I promise you
Let's
a
try
quick
it.
deal.
There we go. Can't pass, we have the Hunter on the field. Because we don't want to play the Hunter in the next round, so we want to get it out here. Even though it doesn't find us like any value. Actually, it will find us 1 value if he doesn't kill it. And then we have like a big Spore. 9 currently. Viga's muzzle at the moment is kind of like... can get us a reach, is like 8 points. Okay, he doesn't have Serret in hands, only Orcs, which is good for us. Which means we can get like good value onto the Skjall. Onto him. What's an enemy unit per 2? I think we just play Skjall here.
We go at them
There we
together.
go. Still 2 points ahead, and Spores getting bigger and bigger. Already at 10 for 4. Spores is a good card. Okay, we can play ping pong here. That's actually perfect. Like, I wanna just get my beer ammunition back, and then my Spores probably will win whatever he has against whatever he has. This means he may play some tactic shenanigans. We'll see. He's not passing. What is he thinking? Did he just forget to pass, or he doesn't need the time? I'm just going to steal back my BR nation here. There we go. It's not like a big thing which you need to calculate. And now it's all about the does he risk it or what? Because if he uses leader, we can also pass if you want to. He's in a pretty tough spot here. We have like, that's the benefit of being on red, so. We'll see. It must be a pretty hard choice in this situation. And his bad luck is that I actually have spores. Because if he plays another deploy ability unit line, like this is already at 11. And he has Orcs in hand, we know that.
There is no escape.
There we go. Sorry. I'm going to take the round. So another question is, push or not? Because, I mean, we have a lot of reactive cards, we want to be in red. Cleaver is also getting better on, like, you know, in a big round 3. Harald. You can also play with a short round, but like Dean Cleaver is really... Those... Harald... Yama will probably be really good, those I don't care about. I think we just pass to get the card up and then we just play all reactiveness. In all reactiveness. And we'll see. Question is, what do we give him from Greta? It doesn't find a lot of value from Ulfidin probably, so that's the card we want to keep. Yalma, so the question for me is here... Warriors. He doesn't have one warrior, so it's fine. We can keep Yalma as well. Moondust or... Ravager. This is potentially a 6. That's fine, let's keep this, and because then we brand this and then we get either the bomb or the Ravager. I can live with both of them.
Your attention, please.
Sure.
I shall
You
now
tell me what I get then. Okay, I get the bomb. Sure. I don't care too much, to be honest. So, damage unit, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the thing is, we can also play him, because we won't get full value from Cleaver right now anyway. Because we have 5 cards in hand, so we can discard this and then play Harald. He has Serid. Question is, does he have like normal locks? But then it's still a good card to have. Why don't we just take the 4 points now? Let's play it like this.
They need us.
Actually, we could have waited with this, because then he gets like a less good hand with Henrietta. So we could have kept bomb. Actually waited. Okay. I mean, sure. So now we get like 4 points of damage with Cleaver. Let's take it. I need to see if we actually like Curse of Corruption, what that will hit. Next round he will play Anna Henrietta, which means that he will get one of those. This doesn't help him, this gets him a bit of value. If he plays Curse of Corruption, he gets like Kirkusma Harald Hans, not for sure. But I can't play Curse of Corruption right now, so I think I'm just getting rid of Ulfidin and like we're fine. Because we still have those for more value. Let's kill it. Or hit this one, I don't care. And if he has Slave Infantry, this is like really good for him. No, he probably chooses my Curse of Corruption for 4. Which is the exact same value as if he plays the bomb, so he would just kill my Harald, I guess. But we have less to say, so Yalma is like the card that would have maybe finished the game for us. And Curse of Corruption, I have no idea if I find value in this game. We will see. Even the Spores is better. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't matter if he plays Moondust, of course, but nice effect, by the way. That's his Slave Infantry. So now the question is, like, what is the highest unit, right? Because he will do a lot of damage. This will just kill a 5. This is like maxes out at 8. Do we just discuss corruption now? Or do we wait until I mean, like, what's better? Like, this is probably better because if it's an unit, like. But if it's not the highest unit, like, what happens then? We only killed 1 5, so it's fine actually. Never mind. Like, I don't think it doesn't make any difference here. There we go. Pew pew. We also are 2 cards up, so like, this should be no problem anyway. There's a sign.
This world dies with it.
No roach for you. No roach for you. I'm sorry. I banished your roach, my friend. He's not in your graveyard. And then I would say we just play Curse of Corruption, pew pew pew, and then we're already 1 point ahead, and it's fine. There we go. Victory.
Table and let's drink.
We'll see. We have a lot of controls, so we may be able to handle her. Also depends a bit on our draws, which are not that good right now. Okay, now at least we can discard something. Okay, getting better. Proactive player-wise, we probably start with Harold, just again to, you know, get rid of the whatever he throws in our way, like wyverns. And we're also going to boost him. Don't want him to be the target of Cyclops or something. There is a fruit. This will soak a lot of damage, I guess, which is kind of like me. Let's see how we do this. At the beginning, I probably just want to get some discard stuff out, like to not frighten him too much. And we'll see. Okay, so he really wants to kill my Harald? Okay, sure. Sure.
Across the wide, somber sea,
I just hit
will sail.
the Ganikora. It doesn't give us any point, but like we need to get the discards. We need to get the discard stuff out. So I guess now he banishes my Harald with Regis. Or Parasite, whatever. Sure. I don't really have good targets, so we can just like we play more proactive in here. There we go. 0-16 is still good. Of course, if he has like Spear Tip or something, like he can close it quite early, like quite easily. Oh, interesting. So the question here is again, how easy is it for me to kill one of those? It's a high chance that I do. Spores I want to keep probably, so I'm just... There we go. What do we do with the other one? Something in my eye. I really don't want to use Cleaver on it, but like... Those spores don't make any sense. Like I have 2 good cards for this matchup. Skel? I mean... What else? This is insane, like we got way too much good cards. Do we want to pass on Garikora? Oh, come on. He can't make any 2 cards, he just needs to play Spear Tip and like, or Caldwell or whatever. This is insane. I mean, he's like 16 points behind. Caldwell and whatever other giant, and like he's there also with the Thrive. I have way too many good cards. Then if he pushes me round 2, what then? Can I counter push? Yeah, not really. A bit. Not much bit. Well, actually. Going to pass here. It's like an insane pass because he can make it for sure, but... I mean, he can't actually push me around too because... What's happening then is that I just took him. So he wants to play long round free, I guess. I should have played one more card actually. Shit, that like one more card and then we could have only get card advantage. I passed one round too early. Where is? Okay, well that's interesting. I was looking for Crawl though. I'll probably just get rid of this one. I mean, like, he hasn't played any Crone, so this was his only real removal. He may have Cyclops. So if I start with this, he may not be able to kill it. Let's see. I can't really play into the round because I'm already up the cards. That's fine. I want to play this. That was pretty good round. I have something for Yalma in the graveyard. And I can play Brockwa Hunter in the beginning. Oh, come on, give me... That's what I'm talking about. I want to have Spores actually, so we may want to get rid of Spores to draw it again. Kidding me.
I promise you a quick.
Let's see if he has reaches. And I said like no Cyclops, Bruis, like the Grievous can kill it. Parasite is out. I think Regis is like the only real card that probably isn't there. So what he can do is like not giving me targets for my Brockwa Hunter, because it will get like 3 extra charges next round onto it. And that will hurt if he gives me targets for that. We'll see. Maybe I even want to keep back Bran to not overkill it. I'll see. I can't. Gameplay, okay, sure. Well, that was possible. I actually forgot about gameplay. Do we discard Burner first because we don't get like what we need? We just got Bran first and then we Burner. Okay.
You stand before the Queen of Skellige.
Spores may actually be really good. Depends. He will buff, he will Oswald. Does Ravager or Spore find more value? Probably Spores. The only thing that speaks against Spores... Oh my god, did you really kill that fruit? We have not a lot of reaction, especially like reaction cards against high units, so Spores may not be the optimal one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, at least we can kill the Griffin. No, we can't kill the Griffin. But we can deal some serious damage to him. There we go. Play new fruit. Let's see if we find a good master target. Children. Because of corruption will find value, that's a good thing.
I sense your pain.
Ooh, that's a sport target.
I see your fear.
Beautiful. So that was a cold. Oh, gold actually. Okay. So we could like sport it right away. And then we have that out of the way because we don't find a better one than 10 probably. I guess. Because the rest of the cards may still be like just high unit cards also. We'll see. Also, what to muzzle. Worst case, we let the fruit grow to 5 and steal the fruit. Since there's no spear tip in the graveyard, I think like that was probably the best spore we could get. Like, better spore would have been a 12-point spear tip, but except consuming in the spear tip, there's no way to get it in the graveyard, so... If you play it like a big consume unit, that could also be a good spore, but then we have Curse of Corruption, so... I guess we're okay. Diana. I would love to kill it though. Let's play the... Don't have really good targets to hit right now, so why not keep them? Oh god, sorry, I really have something now, it's crazy. In both eyes actually, this and this. Oh my. Anyway. Banish, lock and seize. He's one card up. Okay, there we go. So that's something I want to kill right away. That's like a best reaches target, I guess. What we do with you, I don't know. Maybe I muscle you. We will see. He needs to start getting the big guns out. There we go. I could Yalma that. Or do I think I'll get better with hitting targets? Let's use this first. And then let's go kill it. Or like kill is probably the wrong word. But hit it like hard. Hit it hard. Next round I'll probably play Vigo. With the Doppler. So you can't spawn another fruit. And then we'll see. It's a good overhitting target. Yeah. And now we need to see. Probably keep the curse, because like the good stuff will come at the end. On the other hand, like he could hold his really good stuff until the last card, and then I have a problem. I mean, you can always kill, like, curse will always find a value, so... Oh god, I guess this will be too close. I think he will make this. Because it basically just denies his next play. I think that's not true. Wait. He needs to play a 11-point card to draw. It's actually a cash, I guess. Spear Tip will draw. Yeah, Spear Tip will make a draw. Thanks everyone for watching the video. Subscribe if you want to see more Gwent content, especially my in-depth Gwent guides going live on weekends. And don't forget to check out my Patreon page where you can support this channel and get cool rewards in the process. My Twitch times are Monday to Thursday starting at 2 CET. See you on stream.